Good morning. Good morning, everybody, on this chilly and brisk Alaska-like morning in Central Florida. Wow, wow, wow. It's cold outside. So we're inside. We're inside. Good to see you, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. That's me. It's me, Mitch. You know that. As usual, to start the day, my friends. Drink it if you got it. It's great to be here. It's just great to be here. Been up since 5, a little before 5. Waiting for the moment where the countdown, my countdown clock says 32 seconds to go. When I click the go live button, and after about a 2-second delay, the countdown starts, allowing me, hopefully, to hit it right on the second. Is that obsessive? Perhaps. I don't want anybody accusing me, hey, Witch, we were there, where were you, man? That happens a lot on live streams, but if nothing else, I like to be punctual. Good to see all of you. Look at the chat. 65 of you see that I'm live on YouTube. It's working. Let's check out Rumble here and see if am I live on Rumble? Why is it not reloading? Holy cow, I hit reload. Nothing's happening. But I'm live on YouTube. Wow. Wow, wow. Give me a second, guys. Let me go back to Rumble and see, is Rumble indeed offline or what? Uh-oh. Let me make sure that I'm online. Uh-oh. I don't see anybody in the chat saying that I'm not online, but all of a sudden my browser window just kind of locked up here. So let me go in real quick and make sure that everything's working here. Yes, it's working. I don't know what happened. Oh, thank you, Windows. Thank you so much. And I will click on my live stream today. And yes, it is. It seems to be working. Now let me try Rumble again. Oh, I hate to waste a few minutes doing this, but oh, there it is. Okay. Wow, what's going on with Rumble this morning? Are they having problems, or is it me? There it is. There it is. Okay. Wow, what's going on with Rumble this morning? All righty. So you heard the echo from my Rumble feed, which I have to mute. And yes, it is working. And in the Rumble chat, we have Gary RZ, a new one. Wow. Good morning, Mitch, and all Mitch fits eat meat. I wonder if that's no slow. Might be, yes. Oh, no, it's Gary. It's Arzamendi. Hey, man, good morning. That's who that is. Arzamendi. And Mike Seeley, Senior and Junior, are here. Ketra's over there, too. And B-O-U-L-D-E. You're good. Thank you so much. I think they mean that I'm good. It's working. Well, I can take it any way I want. Thank you. Sis 1776 is good. Low slow there. Says looks good. And Gary no slow is here. We got multiple Garys in Rumble this morning. That's great. That's great. Well, that was a little bit of a rocky start. Sorry about that. But the last thing I want to do is sit here talking to nobody because something has failed. There's a lot of crap has to go right for my face and voice to arrive at your device somewhere in this world at exactly the right moment, synchronized. Now, 5 minutes before the stream started, I heard a racket outside my house, a rumble of a big idling diesel. And in my community of retired, mostly sick people, it's a sound that I'm not unfamiliar with. So with 5 minutes to go, I ran up to the front of my house and took a picture through the front window. And this is what I saw. Every time an ambulance comes in here, they always send a fire truck as well. And of course, the fire truck was parked right in front of my house, rumbling away, making noise. And that was about 10, 15 minutes ago. I just heard them a second ago, which is what reminded me of this pulling away. So hopefully, I don't know. The gentleman that lives there is a veteran, I think a few years older than me, but maybe not. I don't know exactly, but not in the greatest of health. And every couple months, I see this, as well as the fellow that lives directly across the street from me, who wins the ambulance call sweepstakes here. So I see this a lot. Also, not too long ago, 2 doors to the left of me, they showed up. It's a sad thing. And I mean, I've had them come to my house. When I fell off a ladder and broke my wrist, they had to come to my house. When I was dealing with my brain surgery things, and after my surgery, came home and they didn't tell me what to expect symptom-wise. I thought there was something wrong, and off I went again in an ambulance, only to find out that they didn't tell me. They didn't say to me, Mitch. And I would have said, what? They would have said, just so you know and don't panic, you can expect some of these symptoms that you had to recur over the next week or so, because we took out 3/4 of an inch of blood clot that was compressing your brain, and your brain needs to expand. Well, they didn't warn me. They didn't tell me squat. I'll never forgive them for that. So I go home from the hospital. Of course, I felt funny. They had just taken half my skull away. And all of a sudden, I get a little aphasia again. Memories failing. I said, oh, shit. Call my son. He sends the ambulance to me. They take me back to the hospital. I spent another day in the hospital, going through every test known to man. Tests they didn't even perform on me the first time. Only after all that, and another $50,000-$60,000 hospital bill for all those tests and scans and MRIs and CT scans and EKGs and ECGs and ultrasounds of my heart and carotids. I mean, they put me through the mill only to tell me, oh, didn't they tell you that those symptoms would take a while before they went away? I went ballistic. But that's the kind of health care we get these days. I work so hard to stay away from it, stay out of it. But I can't, because I'm still getting rid of these kidney stones caused by all of those healthy superfoods that I used to eat, like almonds and spinach and chocolate and all that stuff all my life, thinking they were great foods, perfect for a low-carb diet. Turns out they were oxalate time bombs. So if any of you wonder why I'm so cynical about listening to virtually any advice, whether it deals with supplements or anything, other than the fact that eat meat is what we should be doing, it's because I've been there and I've had these experiences. So I was going to talk about that in my show notes, but hearing the ambulances depart kind of reminded me of that. I thought I'd get that out of the way now. So that out of the way, I'm in a great, other than that, it kind of shakes me every time I see those things. I'm in a great mood this morning. I feel fabulous. Even with this cold weather, it's like in the low 40s outside. Whoa. Oh, we're not freezing, but you don't have to travel very far north of us to find freezing. And the snow in North Florida, the record snow, 11 inches of snow, excuse me, frog. 11 inches of snow. They have closed Interstate 10 for 260-something miles up around Tallahassee to Pensacola because of the icy, dangerous conditions. This is Florida. If this were like, upstate New York, they'd laugh at it. They'd have the snow tires on, they'd have the chains on, they would have the roads salted, but they have the equipment and they expect that. In Florida, we do not expect 11 inches of snow, which melted and then became ice when it refroze. And this closed Interstate 10. And don't expect it to maybe open up until later today, if at all. Incredible, incredible. Incredible. The previous record was 4 or 5 inches of snow, and that was back in the 1950s. So with all this global warming going on and everybody yelling about how the earth is warming, how can it be possible that we have a 60 or 70-year record snowfall here in Florida? How's that possible? It's possible because it's the weather. It's the weather, and weather just happens, and weather changes. Yes, my friends, climate changes. There's nothing we can do about it. Killing cows is not going to help it. In fact, on days like this, where the high here is going to be 52 degrees, I think a few more cows burping and farting their brains out hopefully might warm something up, even though it really won't. I hope they just stop it one of these days, but they won't. They won't stop it no more than they'll stop making fun of carnivores, telling us what we're doing is so dangerous and we're killing ourselves and we're spreading disinformation when everybody knows that you should eat a plant-based diet. That's what we're going to hear. That'll never stop in my lifetime, or yours, most likely. Anyway, wow, little mini rant here the first thing this morning. Little of that Mitch passion coming out. Let's see who we got here. Let's see who we got here. Don't forget to put QQQ in front of your questions if you have any. I'll be tickled to death to answer them to the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. Don't let me forget to mention there's a private community live stream tonight at 7 p.m. with our panel, with no monetization, with no worry about pissing off YouTube or anybody else. So, little carnivore freedom about to happen tonight. Hope to see you there. We usually have a great time. Okay, let's see who chimed in. First one in at 7:30 yesterday afternoon was Nikki W. Is it morning yet? No, sweetie, not morning yet. Sorry. Smoothie 420 chimed in. Cliff Medina, Tuca, was, oh no, that's Mike Seeley. Hi, Mike. He was here last night. Rick in Miami was here last night. Peter last night. Everybody stopping in to say hello. We're up to about 11:30. Mandy Beddoes, hiya. 4:35 a.m. in the United Kingdom. Okay, an early riser in Europe. Great to see you here. Lady June from the UK. That's very gratifying for me to see people just chiming in to say hello long before the stream starts from other parts of the world. That's great. That's great. Furrow Grandma. Yes, it's late where you are. And Anna PL07 says hello. Bob Black at 1:35 in the morning. And here's Stuka chimed in and says hi to everybody. Of course, it's already morning in Finland. Good to see. Maybe you got some sleep last night. Wayne Herman chimed in at 5:47. So the Insomniacs have spoken, and Tweet and Pearl is here. Smoothie 420 came back this morning. Mike Seeley Sr. comes in about 6:30. Kirsten Odell, good morning, all. Enjoying my cold steak for breakfast. Not a bad way to go. Ribeye Susie was here this morning. Furrow Grandma, Lynn, Gerber, Patty, Molden. Good to see you. Gary Arzamendi. I brought salt and butter for everyone. Thank you, Gary. Steve Studley will be very happy. Would you please pass him some of that? Drink it if you got it. Yeah, Steve Studley. Gary brought your butter and salt this morning. You showed up right in time, man. We've got everybody covered here on Morning Coffee with Mitch. Everybody's covered. What a helpful group. God, I love you guys. Michael Bregler, how you doing? Good morning to you. Richard Williams from Copper Hill, Tennessee. Marla Kelly's here. 8 o'clock. Sandy Blythe, good to see you. And who else is new? Francine Bourgeois, great to see you. Great to see you. And let me, at this point, give another big shout out to Francine. Francine bought me 5 coffees without me having to ask for them. Wow. Thank you, Francine. But the message was even more gratifying. You are worth $1 million to me, she says. Thank you for all that you do for this community. Thank you, Francine. And I will honor that with a sip of hot coffee. Thanks to you. Thanks to you. And your generosity in suggesting that I get a coffee warmer and the super chat to buy it for me. I'll never forget that, Francine. Thank you so much. And probably a great opportunity, since I mentioned it, to throw the link to buy me a coffee in there. Enough said about that. Okay, where was I? Thank you, Francine. And let's see, who else? Francine's up in cold Montreal, Canada. William McCartney says, good morning, everyone. CB Carmack, how you doing, CB? Hope you enjoyed the fact that I showed off those books you sent me in that video I made yesterday, and I thank you for that in the description if you hadn't noticed that. I chimed in about 20 after, and Tom in Tampa, Viking 442 chimed in. Dixie Scott chimed in. Smoothie was back at 8:24. Everybody warming up for the big bell. Scott Evans. Lori's carnivore story. It's time. Good morning, all, she says. And Meatitudes, how you doing? Good to see you at 8:57. Terry Sue chimed in, and Aunt B, and now everybody's trying to hit it right on the money. And we've got, who's this? This is Sandy Blythe at 8:28, Anna Peel 107, Aunt B, Laurie, Michael Pregler, Aunt B, and it's ramping up. Brooke, Spiritual Nomad. Hiya, Brooke, how are you? I remembered your name again. See that? See that? The old guy still has the ability to remember shit. No nursing homes, no dementia for me. Not yet. Maybe when I hit 110, but not now. Bryce Hatch, this works, this carnivore thing. It really does. Bryce Hatch, how you doing at 1 minute before the bell? Aaron is here. Jump the gun a little bit. Granny Boo 2. Here we are, sneaking up. Tanya, Kitchen Witch, how you doing? Gary, No Slow, Rick, Charger, Mopar, and so close, Rick. If you'd waited a millisecond before you quacked, you would have won. But today, ding, 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 it's the Carnivore Butcher right in at the bell, followed shortly thereafter. So close, Robbie. So close. Robbie Autry. And I really need to show you some of Robbie's videos. I keep promising you, but things get busy. If I get a slow point today, I will go back to his original mail and download one or two of those things real quick and show them to you. But Robbie, I will get to it. I haven't forgotten it. I keep carrying it forward in my show notes from day to day. And some of those videos are pretty cool. I don't know if all those dogs are yours, but it's cute. It's cute watching these dogs romp around in all that snow. Good morning, Robbie. You're number 2, so you take the silver medal today. And Tom comes in with the bronze. How you doing? Good to see you. Edward Renner at 8:30. Aunt B. Tina Schweikerath. How you doing, Tina? And Aaron back at 8:30. And these are all the 8:30s. Mike Seeley Sr. Looking forward to seeing you guys again this Tuesday, coming up the 28th, not too far away, at the Estampa Gaucha Brazilian Steakhouse here in Melbourne. Everybody, if you can make it, come on down. And we're going to eat more meat. Well, we'll eat as much meat as we want to, but we'll have more meat available than you've ever seen in one place. A little camaraderie, get together with other like-minded people and enjoy a meetup. Don't think it's going to be a huge meetup, but it'll be fun however many people show up. RSVP to me at oldguycarnivore@gmail.com if you think you can make it. 11:30. If you need more information or directions, ask me. I'll send it to you. Also at 8:30, Steve Rogers, superhero, Captain America in the house from Kansas City, Missouri. Good to see you, Steve. Lady June at 8:30. Aaron again at 8:30. Lori again at 8:30. And B again at 8:30. Holy cow. Can we get past the 8:30s? Ketra. Good morning, Ketra. Missed you all yesterday. We missed you too. And Aunt B was the last of the 8:30s. 8:31 starts off with Don Schonger. And that's the morning horse race, my friends. If you've got a winning ticket, I wish I could tell you to cash it in at the cage, but it's it's not worth anything. But thanks for playing. I love the enthusiasm. And when I look at, I get a chart, I get everything in my analytics. When I get a chart of the chat frequency, I always see a spike at 8:30 and then a spike at the very end when I say goodbye to everybody. It shoots up because it tells you how many chats per minute there were. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see. I see Peter's here in the chat right now. I'm watching the current chat over on my left. My phone has been going crazy. Let's see what's happening. Wow, 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 wow. Some coffees, some coffees. Let's see. Let me thank everybody. Tanya bought me a coffee. Thank you, Tanya. $1 billion, she says. Francine, she outbid you. Thanks so much. Thanks, Tanya. And Thomas Pruitt bought me a coffee. And he says, don't spill this coffee. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I got an email from Amazon. Some of my plumbing stuff is on the way that I ordered. I'm trying to gather up all of these pieces. The guy gave me a list, as long as your arm, of stuff he was going to need to replumb my house. And I got a notice from Rumble that if I want right now, I can go over there and watch Dr. Burry's Proper Human Diet. I think I'm a little busy right now, Ken. Sorry, man. But I love you. So I hope you don't notice that I haven't come over there because Rumble said so. But it's good to see that Rumble's sending out those kind of notices. It's really great. And they send them out for me too, which I like. It's just I can't get any traction of any kind. I have like 900 supporters over there. And, I probably should post more videos over there. That might help. But my live stream is there every morning. We'll see. We'll see. I'm, going to keep it up. Going to keep it up. I think it's got to be a worthwhile thing to do. 137 people here this morning. Okay, let me quickly take a second. To look over my show notes. Where are they? Here they are. Don't have a whole lot this morning. On the morning news, something that I don't think applies to any of us, but I always think it's interesting when I see about some foods being recalled. And of all things this morning, they're recalling a particular brand of cheese puffs. Cheese puffs, in a cellophane bag that are being sold in, I think they said something like 28 or 30 states. I mean, when you have to focus on your cheese puffs and how they might be dangerous to you, I mean, we have taken these problems to whole new levels. But most people will be happy to know that the reason they were forced to recall these cheese puffs is, God forbid, there may have been a little animal product in those cheese puffs in the form of milk that they somehow did not put on the ingredients list. So all you vegan cheese puff eaters in any of those 28 or 30 states, your life is in danger, my friend. You need to pay attention to the seriousness of the fact that you may actually ingest a molecule or two of something that came from an animal. Perish the thought, Sunshine, Princess, perish the thought. Okay, I've done my share. I have warned the vegans of the imminent dangers of animal product contaminated cheese puffs without the appropriate warnings all over the entire bag. What a world. What a world. I'm going to throw out another one of these. I think I'll get it done today. If not, it'll be tomorrow. One of these video recommendations. CB sent me one that's just people should see. So I'll make a little intro video and put the link to it in the description. Very interesting stuff. I'll keep it as a surprise, but look out for a video from me sometime, probably 1 o'clock or so, between 1 and 2 this afternoon. with a little pre-recorded intro and a link to a video that I think all of you find interesting, and some of you may have already seen. That's about it for the show notes today. I had put my ambulance thing on there. I wanted to make sure I acknowledged Robbie sent me all those snow videos that I haven't been able to dig out yet. And, but I have them. They're all filed away. I have them. If it gets a little slow, if I don't see a lot of questions, although we're a half an hour into this, there's no law says we have to go over time, although I don't mind. So I'm going to start looking for questions, but I think I'm going to do it differently today. Instead of starting, well, let me start a little bit where I am at the chat, because I'm right at 8:30, and I want to at least say hi to most of the people that came in after 8:30, and we'll go up to about 8:40, 8:45, and then I'm going to jump to the real-time chat down to the bottom and try to find the most recent questions and work backwards. I did that yesterday. It worked pretty good. It worked pretty good. I think that's okay. Jeff Johnson, the name you know. Good morning, all. Watch that video. Mitch, looks like CB got that time and Crisco material to you at the right moment. Well, yes, he did. Yes, he did. That was a great video, and that's why I decided to recommend it, because I thought, what a great introduction I have, actually being able to show off that what I think is a historic book, a turning point, monumental turning point in something as important as human health. Both of those things. And CB, and he turns me towards a lot of good stuff. Smart guy. I wouldn't want to be on his bad side, on the other side of the law in Alabama. That's for sure. I like the fact that he's a friend. Sean Shively from San Diego, early in the morning. Appreciate you getting up early. Thank you. And here's Thomas. Here's Tanya. Thanks for the coffees, guys. I appreciate that. Jason H says good morning. Hey, Jason, don't forget, put some QQQs in there. I don't see a lot of QQQs running by. Maybe you guys know it all already. And we could just visit. That's fine, too. Lewis L. from New York. How you doing, Lewis? Good to see you. Dancing with Life is here. How are you? Scott Evans. Hi, Scott. It's Mitch and the Carnivore time. It is. It is. Oh, wow, Lewis. No coffee for you, huh? Drinking my hot water with salt and iodine. Oh, my God. Wow. Sounds absolutely horrible. Sounds horrible, man. But I think, we make these electrolyte drinks. I dilute mine in 40 ounces of water. I think I could probably throw those 2 drops of iodine in with that, too, because I do drink it all day. But I don't mind it in my first cup of coffee, my first cup of decaf. I don't taste it at all. Don't taste it at all. And I'm looking through this, and it's the same people chatting their little hearts out. Sandy. Here we go. Somebody I haven't said hi to. Chris. Morning, Chris. Life After Carbs. Good morning. Back to the cold of Wisconsin. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are much colder than we are here in Florida. Probably a little bit. But it's crazy. This Arctic, they call it an Arctic blast. It's so cold in Florida that the local weather bureau calls this a weather event day. Usually, if it just rains, it's a weather event day. But today is they make a big deal out of this weather event day. For grandma's here, how you doing? I had to sort out why my phone went to grayscale. Oh, sorry to hear that. Figured it out. Good. Nobody likes a grayscale phone, that's for sure. Oh, who else is new here? I'm up to 836. Jan Foster Hyatt. Jan, how you doing? I think I said hi to Marcy. Maybe not. Marcia Buden. Hiya, Marcia. Good to see you. Or Marcy? Marcy. Marcy Buden. That's right. Hi, Marcy. Sorry about that. Steve McAvoy is here. South Carolina. How you doing? Good morning, Mitchin. All the meat-eating Mitch fits. We are that. We are that. Oh, man. Look at you guys. Danny in Boston. Hiya, Danny. How are you? And I see Aaron's chatting, Lori's chatting, Jeff Johnson, Aaron again, Target Prime Rib, Lori, Danny, Tuka, Lori, Tuka, Tanya, Jeff Johnson, Lori. I think I got everybody here. I don't see anybody new. I'm up to 839. I haven't seen a question yet. Come on, guys. Come on, give me something to talk about. Peter. Hiya, Peter. How you doing? I haven't seen much of you in here this morning, but I see that you're here. Somebody named Knuckles. 29 years old. Holy cow, Knuckles. Happy birthday. It's my 29th birthday. Nobody's 29 years old. Most of us have shoes older than that. It's great to see you here, Knuckles. Man, we don't get much of the young crowd in here because most people your age still think they're immortal and have no need to eat healthy. They feel that they can eat anything and nothing's going to get them. So it's great. And boy, do most of us wish we had discovered something like this at 29 years old. The only thing is what you're going to do with it now that you know. So I wish you the best, and thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. I always enjoy seeing the younger people in here. A question from Robbie. Mitch, if the meat that we eat has hormones in it, what will it do to us? Probably nothing. Probably absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. The hormones are most likely torn apart when you eat the meat. They're just torn down to their basic amino acids, and what leaves the stomach into the small intestine probably has nothing left in it that resembles an assembled hormone, which are proteins. I mean, hormones are proteins or combinations of proteins, and proteins are all made up of a different combination and amount of 20 basic amino acids. So I don't care whether it's a hormone, an enzyme, a protein like meat. I don't care what it is. When you digest it, it's going to be broken down, and you're going to end up with, if your digestion's working properly, you're going to end up with a whole small intestine full of amino acids and some vitamins and minerals that don't get broken down. They just go through. You can't break down a mineral any more than to its base mineral. I mean, you can't break down sodium any more than sodium. So I don't think it's anything we need to worry about. Honestly, maybe if some effect that hormone may have on the cow might alter the omega-6 to omega-3 fat ratio. Maybe some of it manages to escape the digestion, but think about what a cow's digestive process goes through. I don't think much of that hormone stuff actually gets used in the meat or affects the meat in any way. I may be completely off base on that. I'm just talking about my understanding of how food is broken down into the basic materials and then rebuilt by all the different pathways in our body back into what it needs. We don't fix hardly anything. We tear it apart, turn it into its base materials, use those materials to rebuild all new stuff. All new stuff. It's the best I can answer that. I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry. That's the same question for the answer. I mean, the same answer to the question of people who say, well, we're not supposed to eat grains, so why can we eat a cow that eats grains? Because by the time that ends up in the meat you eat, there's nothing left of the grain that resembles grain. It was all broken down into sugar. That sugar was digested in the cow's hindgut by the bacteria that turn that into fatty acids and other materials that are used to build the cow's meat. You will not cut open a cow, cut into a steak, and find a kernel of corn. Guaranteed, my friends. Guaranteed. Just so many misconceptions out there, so many things people don't understand, and they warn you so much. The only difference, I think, well, I like grain-finished beef, rather. All beef is pretty much grass-fed, but grain-finished beef, because it makes fat. The grain gets turned into fat. That's what makes a good marbled steak that's delicious. The only thing that may be is a little more omega-6. So you want to counteract that, have fish a little more often that's high in omega-3. That's all. I don't micromanage any of it. I just eat the food. Once a week, I'll eat some fish. Some fatty fish, some salmon, anchovies, sardines, that kind of stuff. Stuff that give me a little jolt. I will not take omega-3 fish oil capsules. Most of that stuff has got more crap in it that hurts you than the small amount of omega-3s it may have. But everybody has to do what they want and believe what they want. And I think I'm served well by my overarching principle of don't micromanage it. Just eat the food that we know is good for us. Follow a few simple rules. Try to get within the ballpark on your fat to protein ratio, and let your body take care of itself. And if something isn't adequate, it'll let you know. It'll let you know. Okay, I'm going on at 8:40. I'm going to go to 8:45. Jonathan's here from Alaska. Hey, Jonathan, how you doing? Jonathan and I we usually talk on Wednesday night. He was busy with his children yesterday because he's 4 hours behind us. So even though 7 here is evening for me, it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon for him. He was busy with his kids at the dentist, and they had to go to the pet store and get his son a new goldfish. So we put it off till next week. And we're going to get together next Wednesday. So I had the night off. Actually had a night off last night. Good morning, Jonathan. Good to see you, my friend. As cold as it is here, I may as well be in Alaska, for God's sakes. And there's something missing here this morning, something that I think is needed, because I'm going to start working backwards in the chat here. I think I've said hi to most everybody, but we'll catch everybody because we will meet in the middle. But a little shot of happy music. Cheer us up to start the day. Get us moving. Get a little rhythm in there. You know, imagine you got a pair of maracas in your hand. Imagine your name is Carmen Electra. You know, I mean, it's great to move and smile and think about all that meat that you're going to eat. Yes. Okay, is everybody happy? All right, enough of that. Okay. Enough of that. We'll have to do that every once in a while. No cigar smoking. And I think it's funny, I haven't had ever since I had a panel without cigars, they haven't demonetized or deemed my things unfit for advertisers. Maybe they are that anti-puffing. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And yet they never demonetize any of the morning live streams where I make a big deal out of puffing and lighting my cigar. But it's not as prevalent in that stream as it is when we have a panel and 2 or 3 of us are sitting there like we're in a cigar lounge. And yeah, I guess maybe, who knows? But there was an experiment, and without the cigars, I mean, even in the last live stream where Greg came in, he came in puffing on a cigar. No, it didn't hurt anything. So I don't know. I don't know. And tonight, who cares? I don't care. I wish I could be doing this outside so I could be puffing on a cigar. They can't demonetize something that isn't monetized in the first place. And I don't monetize the private community streams. That's for you guys. That's for you guys. All right, down at the bottom of the chat, Jackie W., realtor in Indiana, was the last one in. So I'm going to start looking the other way. Tuka, my question didn't get any echo. I don't know what that means. Tuka. Peter's telling us he was 300 pounds, morbidly obese, with a BMI of 40. Yes, no doubt, Peter. Big change, big change. I'm looking for questions. Going backward in the chat. Here it is. Richard Williams had a question at 9:10. Let me scroll down to 9:10 over here. Wow, look at all that chat that I'm missing. Probably some new people I didn't get to say hi to, but I got to start digging out the questions. Wow, you guys. Okay, I found a, well, I'm going backwards, but I did find a question here from Brooke. So I'll get, Richard, I'll be coming to yours in a minute. Spiritual Nomad, question, do you find your memory is improved on carnivore? I'm impressed with you recalling names and such. My 51 years young and not great with names. Yes. Brooke, I find every aspect of the way my mind works and the improvement and continued improvement in mental clarity and memory. Although, like everybody, I don't care how smart you are, we all have those things that we think we should know. The name of a movie star should be familiar to us. Sometimes they just seem like right out of grasp. You know, that we call it, a lot of us call it a senior moment, but it's happened to me all my life. And that happens once in a while. Somebody's name that I knew a year ago might escape me if I have a mental picture of them and I'm saying, what was their name? I also had a real disruption to my memory when I had my brain surgery. I mean, that subdural hematoma had me not being able to remember even words that meant certain things. I would be fishing for the right word to use. That's pretty well gone away. But there are some remnants that affect of that injury that still affect my memory even today. Not much, not many, not anything that slows me down or I would consider any kind of a handicap in any way. My balance took a while to come back. I really screwed up my balance. And now, if I lay on my back, trying to work on something over my head, tilt my head back, I will get a little vertigo, and there's nothing I can do about that. It's just when you people. What happened to me was not a stroke. I had nothing burst, no aneurysms, no blood pressure problems, but the symptoms were stroke-like because of the pressure on my brain that came from this huge blood clot under my skull that they call a subdural hematoma. It took my brain maybe months to finally expand back and fill up the space allotted for it. And that was an interesting period of recovery. I got 99% of everything back. But I don't know. I don't think it's affected my memory all that much. But it may still have some stuff. But yes, your question was, do you think the memory is improved on carnivore? I'll guarantee that. I'll guarantee that. And the ability to think clearly. And the ability that I seem to have, that I don't even know if I ever had in my life, to speak like I'm doing right now to an audience, unrehearsed, unscripted, and like I do in all my videos. One or two videos I read off a checklist on the screen, the 10 best things about carnivore, that kind of stuff. But other than that, nothing I've ever said in any of my videos or live streams has been scripted. No teleprompters. Nothing. Nothing. It just comes out. And I'm marveled by it. I watch in disbelief on the replays. I say, where the hell is this coming from? It's coming from my brain. So obviously, my brain's working great. And I have the ability, I guess, to basically multitask, because the words are coming out of my mouth metered, I think making sense. But my mind is 5 minutes ahead already. It has to be. How do I know? And consciously I don't, but how does my brain know where I'm taking this little speech? Unless it's already mapping it out and scripting it in a place that I'm not particularly aware of. It just happens. So yes, I think you can count on that. I think that this is, and that video I'm going to be talking about today is almost a testimony to just what this diet, what eating the right nutrients, the proper amount of fat, having a high enough cholesterol can do to keep our brains from deteriorating like they seem to do. And have so many of us end up in, drooling in nursing homes. That's a great question. Great question. You might even become more spiritual there, Brooke. Jackie, brain fog issues. Done here. And look at all the questions. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Mycomage? Mycomage? I have no idea. Kevin Smith. I can pronounce Kevin. I just bought my first picanha yesterday, grilling it today, and I'm excited. Good. I've never had picanha other than at the meetups at the Brazilian Steakhouse. It's great. I haven't seen it at Sam's Club, and I understand it's a great cut of meat. Let us know. Let us know how it works out. Let us know. Hey, good morning, Crypto Mechanic. I'm still trying to get to 9:10 here, where I had that question I wanted to answer, but I got a whole bunch of other questions right before that. Tina Schweigerath chimed in. When someone buys from your Amazon, do they give you the name of the person? I am being nosy. No, I have no idea who bought what. I have no idea. I can't find it. They don't present it to me. The only thing I can find if I look on the list is the items that were purchased. That's it. I have no idea where they went, where they came from, or even the date. It goes back like 30 days. It shows me everything, and it starts with the highest number. So if I'm doing a video featuring a particular air fryer, that would probably be at the top of that list. That list can be 1,000 items long, but at the top of the list, it might say so-and-so air fryer 6. So out of that whole thing, 6 people ordered an air fryer. And pretty soon it gets to where it's just quantities of 1 of a bunch of stuff that I've never seen or don't recognize and certainly haven't pointed anybody towards. But those are from the people who go shopping when they go in through my link, and I get credit for everything they buy, which is great, which is the only way, really, believe it or not, that makes it even worthwhile doing. It's as important for me, or the kind of money I might make from Amazon, which is pitiful, that you don't just purchase the thing that's in the link and then go out of my link or close the browser and go back in 5 minutes later and do all your shopping. I can only really benefit in any meaningful way if you buy those other things while you've gone in or after you've gone in through my link, which is why I talk about that. Anyway, good question, Tina. Thank you. Thank you. A helpful question for me. It really is. Really is. And we have, I'm looking, still trying to get to 910, 909, 909. Where is that question? Here it is. Richard Williams. Been looking for you. Ah. Here, I was so concerned about your question. It's funny. If a cow pees on a flat rock, is that a weather event? You bet your booties it is. Depends on who you ask. Peter agrees. Peter says, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Holy cow. Francine says, Mitch, as of February this year, yep, in a few days, Amazon will close all of its facilities here in the whole province of Quebec, 2,000 jobs. How? Why? I hadn't heard that. Why would they do that? It doesn't make any sense, but wow. But Canadians, my links don't work for Canadians. I would have to make a separate deal with Amazon of Canada, and I can't be doing that for every different country, having a separate agreement and a separate account and have to do all that bookkeeping just to make a few cents. I can't do it. It's not worth it for me. Maybe for one of these guys that runs one of these shopping channels, that the 10 best deals at Amazon, the 10 best deals this week. You know, there's a bunch of those guys. They got millions of subscribers. They make small fortunes doing that, a couple pennies at a time. But that's what you have to do to really make it worthwhile. Okay, so I was going back in the chat. This was at 9:10 I got back to. Okay, so I'll look at the bottom of the chat, see if I got any more questions here. I don't see them, so if I'm at 9:10 in the chat now, I'll keep going down in the other chat. Yeah, I think this might work. This way I might be able to get to the questions that were more current than where I was. Richard. So I have way too much time on my hands, can't help it. Oh, man, that's great. That's great. And let's see. My phone has been going ding, 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 ding. Let's see what's going on. Wow. Wow, some coffees. People are buying me some coffees. Thank you. Spiritual Nomad bought me a coffee. Brooke, thank you. Just ordered a coffee warmer from your Amazon links. Bought some electric hand warmers. While I was at it, Florida girls don't do. Oh, man, that's funny. Thank you, Brooke. Jeff Johnson bought me a coffee. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Thanks for the video recommendation. Opens up a few eyes and minds, he says. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. Let me make sure I got everybody. Thomas from today. Francine B., Tanya, Thomas Pruitt, Spiritual Nomad, Brooke, and Jeff Johnson. Thanks so much, guys. But there's still time left for you guys. There's still time to get in on the fun and throw some coffee my way if you feel the urgency or the need. There's the link. It is 9:30. Let me go back in here and see if I can find any more questions. We have 146 people. Good attendance. Tuka, quack, quack, how are you, boss? Was my question. Maybe you got it later. Oh, okay. I'm fine. If I was any better, it'd be illegal. Tuka, you know that. And good to see you paying homage to Rick, Charger Mopar in Miami, with his duck motif. That's, God, dare I say it. That's just ducky. Do I have the appropriate sound effect for that? Hang on a second. Is it this one? Perfect. Perfect. Perfect sound effect for that bad joke I just told. I mean, it's okay to tell a bad joke if you do it on purpose and you know it's bad. If you think it's funny and it's bad, there's something wrong with that. Oh, let's see, where are we? Any more questions? Any more questions? Wow, wow, wow. Here's a question without the QQQ. It says, Mark Yost, does goat have enough fat? If so, what cut do you eat? Thank you, Mark. I have no friggin' idea. I would imagine it's like, it would be like any other wild animal that we don't really raise by feeding grains. Most animals that are raised in natural, like deer, wild boar, goat, are not fed food to fatten them up, will be lean. They'll be lean, just like a human being eating the proper diet will be lean. So I think that the answer may be probably, but I don't eat goat. I don't see goat for sale anywhere I buy meat. I have no idea from firsthand experience. But we'll take a very simple search on a search engine to say, what is the fat to protein ratio in goat, and probably list it out for you by the cut of meat. Interesting question. Where are you going to get this goat? You going to raise it, or do they sell goat at your store? I mean, in other countries, goat is a very common food, especially goat's milk. I mean, you hear a lot about goat's milk. It's supposed to be very easy for humans to digest, but again, that's not something I've had experience with. Mark Yost. Those goats in Afghanistan with the big butts, booby goats, LOL, or are they sheep? Oh, wow. Some of the stuff you guys talk about is unbelievable. Okay, I'm up to 922 in the chat. I'm almost caught up here. Wow, wow, wow. Spiritual nomad through a few cues. Have you seen the research on sugar and Alzheimer's? Yes, I have, Brooke. Seen all that stuff. All that stuff. How about the research on tying sugar to cancer? Tying sugar to virtually everything. It is a toxin. We can handle small amounts of sugar. The best sugars for us to eat are the ones that come with carbs that actually have some nutritional benefit. Other than pure energy, table sugar has nothing that the body uses as building blocks. It's just all energy and toxic as well, which is at least, I think, a step in the right direction when they at least try to steer people away from added sugars, because most carbs, most vegetables, most plants, fruits, even dairy products have natural sugars in them, and we've developed the physiology to deal with them, and there is some nutritional element. There are other things besides the sugar that we use to repair things, make cell walls. What we don't need is the fiber or the excess sugar. Sugar and I don't know exactly what particular study or research you're looking at, but sugar just screws up our metabolic health, raises insulin. You add to that our obsession with lowering cholesterol. And I think that just from what I know about it, the major cause of Alzheimer's is the fact that we are not eating fat, trying to lower our fat and our cholesterol, which are the two things that the brain needs in abundance to not short circuit, because that's what the cells are built out of. That's what shields the connections between neurons, and they call that a myelin sheath. So I think, yeah, there's probably a connection between sugar and Alzheimer's, but I think the real major problem is the lack of fat and cholesterol in the human body, either by not having it in the diet, which is the low-fat craze. God forbid you should eat some fat. And the lowering artificially of cholesterol by statins and other drugs. Now, how can you tie sugar to this? And I can see where they might. And if I was looking at it and trying to be analytical about this, I would say, if you're not eating enough fat, you have to be eating more sugar. That makes sense? There's only protein, sugar, or carbs, and fat. Those are the only three macros that you can eat. You can't eat 100% protein, that's for sure. You could, but there's always going to be fat mixed in with the protein. But if you eliminate meat and animal products and try to be a vegan or a vegetarian, you're getting no fat, hardly at all, in your diet. And you're really going out of your way to make sure you don't. You might be getting some protein in the form of plant proteins, which are incomplete, require a lot of supplementation. So what's left? If 10 or 20% of your diet is coming from protein and its associated baby fats, you're getting your fats from carbs and seed oils. Because somehow, when they talk about a low-fat diet, they don't count the seed oils as fats. It's animal fats they're talking about. The seed oils are good for you. They're vegetable oils. So when you see a study that says sugar correlates with Alzheimer's, is it the sugar? I don't know. I haven't seen that. Is it this is another case of where confounders come in studies and just screw up any conclusion or any absolute proof of causation, and only leaves association that's not conclusive in any way, because other things, other confounders may be doing it. So is it really the low-fat aspect of a high-sugar diet that's causing the Alzheimer's rather than the sugar? You understand? You follow my logic? And I'm thinking this through in my head as I'm trying to talk about it, because I haven't really given this much attention. I never heard before that they're trying to blame Alzheimer's on sugar, when in my mind it's blamed on the lack of fat and cholesterol in the brain, period, end of story. And yes, the sugar does some damage, but I think that the lack of fat and cholesterol are where the real damage occurs, and so much of that is from statins. And I think if you really did some serious studies, you could correlate statin use and Alzheimer's, and maybe even prove causation if you could do a broad enough study for a long enough period of time. Not something that anybody in any industry anywhere is willing to fund, so forget about it. Why would a food company or a drug company want to prove that what they're doing is causing Alzheimer's? They want to prove the opposite. They are not going to fund no study these days that will disprove anything, any propaganda from a food or drug company has a chance in hell of getting done, except by guys like Dave Feldman and Nick Norwitz. And those studies, I got news for you, are conclusive in my mind, but you'll never hear about them outside of our community. You have never heard the term lean mass hyperresponder on any news program anywhere. There's no money. If there's no money in it, you won't hear about it. So here I went down a little rabbit hole, figured it out as I was going along, and came to the conclusion, and I might look into it, but I think the greatest cause of Alzheimer's is not sugar. Sugar might get blamed because when you take out the fat, you end up with a high sugar diet. But I think it's really the absence of a high percentage of animal fats in your diet and no sugar that feeds the brain what it needs. And not lowering your cholesterol gives your brain the cholesterol it needs to not get Alzheimer's, which is a particular form of dementia. Cholesterol is so important to the brain that the brain manufactures its own cholesterol. It doesn't rely on the cholesterol that's made in the liver. It's too important for the brain. So, what's the most dangerous drug on the planet for brain health? That would be a statin that can travel through the blood-brain barrier. And some statins do, and some statins can't. Obviously, the ones that can affect the brain's ability to make cholesterol are the most dangerous. It's a sad state of affairs. Great question, though. Great question. Made me really think. I know I paused a little bit there because I hadn't. It's not a topic I'd thought about. I just did all my thinking and right there on the spot. So I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Again, that would be my first opinion, the answer to that question. And Peter says, Mitch is the one who busts my chops the most by far, but he says he only does that because that to the ones he likes the most. Yes, Peter, I love you. But parents love their children, Peter, and sometimes their children do annoying things. But they still love them nonetheless. And I'll leave it at that. That's a great question. Brooke, that was a great question. A great, great question. I'm going down in this chat now. I don't know which way I'm going. Backwards or forwards. Tim Atkins, how you doing? Not a question, but an interesting comment. Hey, Mitch, I've gone from 315 to 230. Wow. Congratulations on carnivore in the last 6 months. Good for you. And your videos have been very helpful. I'm only 28, by the way. I'm thankful I found a proper human diet for my health decline. Man, I envy you, Tim. Congratulations. That's great. Great. We all wish this was around when we were your age. 28 years old. I was your age 50 years ago. Can you believe that? 50 years ago. 50 years. Wow. Scares the shit out of me thinking about that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Glad we can help you. Hang in there. Stick with it. You're taking your life back, actually. It's incredible. Holy cow, Granny Boo. Got David and Goliath there. Granny Boo's 5'1", her husband's 6'4". Holy cow, you get a stiff neck looking up? Everybody's talking about, oh, Claudia, she's 5'4", her hubby is 6'5". What the hell? Pal, you ever get a chance to look each other in the eyes? Wow, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I'm going down the chat, 9:29, 15 minutes behind again. CB Carmack. It's a question. Could somebody use a paid VPN in other countries and change their location? Could you still benefit from Amazon links? You could, but they wouldn't ship there. That would be the problem, CB. I mean, somebody in Yugoslavia could use a VPN in out of New York or something, could get into Amazon, could buy something, but when they tried to get it shipped, Amazon would say, we're not shipping there because you're dealing with Amazon America. You'd have to deal with Amazon over there, and if I don't have an account with them, they won't recognize those links. So it's a great thought. It just won't work. I'm stuck with just USA people using my Amazon stuff, and that's okay. Believe me, it's no major source of any significant money whatsoever. It's part of the little bit here, a little bit there, few coffees, little ad revenue from Google, and it adds up to something that I don't know if it makes it worthwhile, but I'm having fun. I'm having fun. And let's see what we got here. We have DS111 bought me a coffee. Drink more when you get it. Yes, DS111, I will do that. Thank you so much. And other emails that are not important. Gemino 48, how you doing? Didn't see you yet this morning. DS111 with a question. I've been finding good quality beef and chicken sausage at Costco. Have you checked the breakfast sausage at Sam's? I have, and most of it I think is junk. I'm really not all that interested in sausage. I don't know when I eat it. I eat bacon with my eggs. I like it better than sausage. I'm not going to eat sausage as a standalone meal. I'm going to eat ground beef. I'm going to eat steak. I'm going to eat fish. I'm going to eat dark meat chicken with skin on it, or chicken wings with skin on it. So I really don't have a slot in the rotation to be sticking any different foods. What a thing to be. No human being on the planet would say that's even doable. To only eat such a small variety of foods and be perfectly satisfied with them, where you don't even have room in the rotation to stick in something different. That's where I found myself. I like it. It's very simple, very uncomplicated. So I'm not on the hunt. My scavenger hunt for foods has been called off, and we've talked about that. I have everything I need, everywhere I need it, evidently, in my body, because my body is not urging me to try different things in the hopes that what I'm missing might be there. I'm going down. Any more questions? 9:35. Want to get to the end of this. And as usual, we're sneaking up on 10 o'clock. I kind of figure this to be at least an hour and a half every morning, and it's fine with me. Believe it or not, I think this is the most relaxing part of the day for me. I turn off the outside world. I immerse myself in my friends, people with common interests, people that aren't finding fault with me, which I seem to get everywhere, from every direction these days. And Spanky got up. Hey, welcome to the world, Spanky, up there in Canada. Good to see you this morning. Pamela Suarez checked in. How you doing? See, if I stick around long enough, some of the people that are a little west of here, different time zones, will actually come in and say hello. Good to see you. Don't forget tonight. Don't forget the private community live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern. You guys give out a lot of good tips. Joseph Stevens question, how you doing, Joseph? Is amino acid pooling a concern for us in the carnivore sphere? I don't know. Not something if I don't know something, I'll admit it to you. Never looked into it, never heard about it. I'm sure somebody has figured out that this is something we need to be concerned about. for some reason, and it was made a great YouTube video, piqued people's curiosity, got a lot of views, and created just another something we need to micromanage. And I don't even watch that stuff. I'm sorry. I don't want to know some of that stuff. I am not the world's foremost authority on all this oddball stuff. And there may be something to it. And if I happen to run across it, I'll certainly look into it. I've never heard the words carnivore pooling. I don't want to hear them either. Got enough to worry about. I want to let my first question. I mean, this may sound a little strange to you, but it's been serving me so well, and that's the important thing. What has served me well? What has kept me on track? The rule that I have about and the test that I give every new topic, every new concern, every new crisis, everything that comes up, my first question is this something that a caveman needed to worry about? And the answer to that is, of course not. And I say, well, that caveman was one of my ancestors, because at one point in the evolutionary path that led to me, my ancestry had to go through the era of the caveman. And if that ancestor of mine that was healthy and lived and reproduced, and every one of the offspring of the offspring of the offspring, over 50 to 100,000 generations of my ancestry also lived and reproduced so that my parents were alive and could have me, if all of that worked, and it had to have worked or I wouldn't be here. None of us could be alive if every ancestor we've had, all the way back to the first living cell on planet Earth, hadn't survived and reproduced. That's just simple logic and math. And if none of those previous generations of my ancestry had to give a flying F about what what amino pooling is, I don't need to worry about it either. My physiology knows, and it's taking care of that, because I'm doing the one thing that I need to do, and that is eating the proper nourishment and avoiding the poisonous stuff. And I can't do any better than that. So keep it simple. Keep it simple. It's an overarching message that I try. And yet, how can you not pay attention to this stuff when you're all day, like me, going through YouTube? I've learned, not interested, don't recommend this channel to me anymore. This is somebody pushing supplements. This is somebody fishing for views. This is somebody with clickbait. This is somebody trying to make you feel sorry for them, so you'll send them small fortunes. This is somebody doing this, that. And I've narrowed down the number of carnivore and keto people I watch on YouTube to probably, I can count them on one hand now. I either know what they have to say, I know they don't know anymore, and I already know, and I'm not going to learn anything new unless I see they put out a video that has a title of something that I think they may be onto something, but I have to be very careful, because we may not have to be onto that. We may be better off ignoring it, and that has to do with so many of life by the blood test numbers, life by the CGMs, life by all this other stuff. Makes great material to have a successful YouTube channel and big followings. But is it really, how many people is it really helping long term? I don't know. Maybe a lot of people. So I know that I can't watch it anymore because I've heard everything they say 100 times. Just like people don't watch me after a while, because what are they going to hear from me? You're going to hear the same thing. Don't micromanage. How to get over the first 30 days. Carb addiction is the main problem. Eat meat. Pretty much sums it up. But consider me a friend. And if there's something that ain't working right, we'll try to figure it out the best we can. And God forbid, you may have to go to a doctor sometime. If you're lucky, you find a doctor that isn't so brainwashed that they actually think that you should be eating spinach in mass quantities. Spanky says, well, in Canada, they got plenty of eggs, evidently. Deborah Weisgal's here. How you doing? Where am I? 9:50. 5 minutes behind. Sneaking up on it. Sneaking up on it, guys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And did I miss a question from Jackie, or did I answer one? Jackie question, good question. Okay, if I missed it, I'm sorry. But we are down the home stretch here. I did it. I'm at the bottom. I am at the bottom. Mitch, do you think tariffs will make grocery prices go up? I hope not. Meat is already. No, I think we're going to see. If you got to give it a chance to work. You got to give it a chance to work. Tariffs are used. You got to understand how Trump's mind works. He's a deal maker and negotiator. People take him seriously. Look at the hostages being released in the Middle East. All he had to do is say, if those hostages aren't starting to be released by the day I get inaugurated, all hell will rain down upon you. All of a sudden, the next day, the hostages got released, and Joe Biden is there taking credit for it. He didn't have to rain hell down upon them. He may not have to impose most of these tariffs that they're talking about. But I guarantee you, if our government starts spending tons less money on useless nonsense, if we don't have to put up fly migrants to swing states, put them up in fancy hotels, give them Visa cards with $2,500 a month on them, when there's homeless vets in the street outside that fancy hotel where the illegal migrants have been flown, probably in a nice, clean, fancy airplane with meals, so that they one day might become a voter to keep those people who put them there in power. And anybody that doesn't believe that's the reason why one side wants that immigration so much and the other side wants to stop it. I'm sorry if that's political and offends people, but I live in a world of simple logic, of things that make sense, especially common sense. And after almost 78 years of bullshit raining down on my ears, I'm tired of it now. I just won't tolerate it anymore. I just can't. I can't change it, so I avoid it. And that's why I avoid 99% of all videos on YouTube and try to live in a real world and try to give real advice that makes sense, that worked for me. Always remembering we're all a little bit different. At any rate, I'm down to the bottom of the chat. I managed to get through this whole thing without too many politics. I don't think grocery prices are going to go up because of tariffs, because I think other forces are going to really reverse inflation, but it's not going to happen in a week or two. But I think overall, and the biggest one of those is energy prices coming down, because when energy prices come down, nothing that's made or transported isn't affected by rising costs of energy. I mean, if you got run a factory on electricity, make a product, then throw it in a truck and run, and that truck has to run on energy to get it to you. If energy goes down 30-something%, which it should, we shouldn't be at $3 a gallon gas. We should be, or diesel, we should be around $2. That's what we were 4 years ago. There's no need for that. We have plenty of gas here. We should be buying gas from Venezuela, for God's sakes. That's all politics. That's stupid decisions fueled by wacko environmentalists that create more problems than they solve. Some of you may disagree. Feel free. Feel free. I don't think we're going to see inflation. I don't think we're going to see much inflation. I think that's sour grapes. I think that's panic. I think that's MSNBC and CNN trying to tell us why we made a big mistake and elected this, and we shouldn't be changing our government. We shouldn't be fixing these things. We shouldn't be sending illegal people home. We should be focusing on Americans, because this is America after all, and the Americans who contributed to this country, like I have all my life from my military days to the enormous sums of income tax I paid when I was making lots of money. I just think we're really on a better path right now. But they're going to still try to phony up, invent hoaxes and nonsense. I hear it. I'm already hearing it. So you're hearing it too. The good news is people are beginning to recognize that crap for what it is. People are beginning to recognize that crap for what it is. So that's my answer to that question. Here's Aunt B says, Old Guy Carnivore, thank you for being here with your wealth of knowledge and sass. Sassy I am, B. Yes, sir. You never have to know where I stand on any issue. I will always, as I've been accused, let whatever's on my mind just come flying out of my mouth. And B says, see my question. Oh, you guys don't stop. I was up to the end of it, and now look at all. Okay, I've got to the end of it again, and that's going to be it, my friends. No more questions for today. I see Spanky's holding up the rear there. Yes, sir. And Booby Goats and Gary No Slow. Great. Listen, everybody. Time to call it a day. Let's call it Thursday. And Thursday we have private community live stream tonight. Yes. And Jane bought me a coffee. Thank you, Jane. Good morning, Mitch. I'm drinking it because I got it. Happy first cup of the day with you. Thank you, Jane, so much for that. Really appreciate that. Thank you all for your support. Say goodbye to each other in the chat. I think I have finished my coffee. Look, it's gone. Wow. One last little drop. Holy cow. You don't make it through a whole cup of coffee, but I did today. Anyway, we have saying goodbye, Aunt B, Rick Charger Mopar, Smoothie 420, CB Carmack, Ketra Naylor, Thomas, Jemmett, Spanky, Claudia Burkick, Sandy Blythe, William McCartney. Wow, look at all of you saying goodbye. Jackie W, Gary No Slow, Retired Rick. Oh, man, Steve McAvoy, great to see you guys. Ernie Earhart, good to see you. And it's coming to an end, my friends. Yes, and that will bring this to an end. 5 after 10. Thanks for coming. You guys were very active in the chat. Got a few good questions, got a chance to pontificate a little bit, and I will see you all at 7 o'clock in the private community live stream. Until then, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.